many years ago when I was playing with Booker, it was a weekend and we were going to be playing the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas. I'm in the car with Jack Kemp, who was my teammate, and we're driving back from practice, and he said, "Eddie, did you see the itinerary for the weekend?" I said, "No, why?" He said, "They got all the black guys rooming with the black guys and all the white guys rooming with the white guys." And he said, "We ought to mix it up." And I said, "Well, you're the captain, do something." So he called Jack Horrigan and said, "Why do you have all the people rooming together?" He said, "Well, I thought that's the way you guys wanted it." And Jack said, No, mix it up." So Jack roomed with Art Powell. I roomed with Booker that weekend. And when we got to Kansas City that night, the night before the game, Booker and I went down into the lobby to see what was going on. And we were watching people come through the door. And in came Ralph Wilson. And I looked at Booker and I said, "Booker, look, there's Mr. Wilson. He doesn't look happy. So Booker, come on up and tell the rest of the story."
Good morning. Good morning. I don't know the rest of the story. The rest of it, you heard the whole thing about the rest of the story, right? Is that there's always a rest of the story, but dealing with Mr. Wilson in Kansas City, I had a lot of relatives in Kansas City, so what happened was that we was going to stay over after the game because I want to have a family manner and just have a party and everything. So I went to the liquor store once we got there, and I bought about 6 bottles of alcohol, and I had it in the stash in my room and everything. So when Mr. Wilson came by, and he had that worried look on his face, and we asked him, what's the problem? He said, "Well, I got, Lamar Hunt and a bunch of the executives here to have a few cocktails and some hors d'oeuvres." And he said, "And I can't find no alcohol because Kansas City, Missouri, basically was alcohol prohibited after 6 o'clock, and so therefore they wasn't able to get no alcohol and everything." So I looked at him and I asked him, I said, "Well, what kind of alcohol were you looking for?" And he said, "Well, whatever, he said, "I'm just getting anything." He said, "Preferably vodka." I said, "Okay, hold on a minute." So I went up to the room, came back with the vodka, and he looked at it, he grabbed it and he said, "Wow." He said, "You have just saved my life." And I thought from that point on that I was going to get a bonus. Well, I never did get the bonus. Not at that point anyway. I did get the bonus later on, and I'll say something about that in a minute. But that's the other end of the story.
Thank you.